In this video, I introduce an AI agent using large language models for zero-shot planning. If pre-trained large language models are large enough with appropriate prompts, they can be decompose high-level tasks into middle-level plans without additional training. Namely, the raw knowledge learned by large language models, not just for linguistic tasks, but to make goal-driven decisions that can be enacted in interactive embodied environments. A realistic action plan generated by large language models can be correctly parsed and satisfies the common sense constraint of the environment. While correction of an action plan is verified by comparing similarity with human annotations. Planning large language models can generate action plans for high-level tasks if one example and his annotated action plan from the demonstration set are pre-handed to the query task. Planning large language model samples multiple outputs for each query to improve generation quality. To choose the best action plan X asterisk among key samples from X1 to Xk, if X1 consists of Ni tokens and the sample with the highest mean log probability is selected as the best plan, as shown here, where theta is the parameters of the planning large language model. The plan expressed in free-form language may not be mapped to unambiguous actionable steps and is not executable by an agent. To solve this issue, planning large language models leverage world knowledge learned by large language models to semantically translate the action. For each admissible environment action AE, planning large language models calculate his semantic distance to the predicted action carried by cosine similarity defined as here, where f is the embedding function. For example, the environment actions AE can be a set of actions defined in virtual home. The translated environment action AE is appended to the unfinished plan. All subsequent steps will be conditioned on admissible actions AE, as shown here as a regular large language model agent. A pre-trained large language model uses a query and prompt as an input to generate an action plan, which is ambiguous actionable steps. This planning large language model agent uses the first action as an input to translation large language model. By maximizing the AE and A caret to get AEE, that is user input to pre-train the large language model to generate action 2 and so on until finishing the action plan. Planning large language model interleaves plan generation and action translation to allow the automatic trajectory correction. At each step of planning large language model further queries the pre-trained large language model to generate key samples for a single action. For each sample, A caret, both the semantic soundness and his achievability in the environment are considered. The goal is to find the admissible environment action AE to maximum similarity C and mean log probability T state defined here, where beta is a weighting coefficient. Here is one example of a planning large language model agent. For more details, please check with these references. Thank you. Bye.